Hello.
Hi, Georgia.
Hello.
How are
Kirsten.
you?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Look at your Captain America.
Yes.
Oh, and he's got Mjolnir. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, and of course, I've got Tim, my Captain America represented right here. Thank you.
Oh, stop it. I think that's perfect.
Awesome. So, I have an authentic Psych prop, prop from the set. And I have, of course, my Psych cookie jar and Captain America in the game Captain America because America loves Psych.
America does love Psych. That's America's ass. Psych is America's ass.
I will say that I do like looking at Chris Evans. I will say that he's my eye candy.
I know he's some pretty good eye candy. What do you think about the beard?
But he's a close second. He's a close second to Tim. Tim's way up there. Tim is in the stratosphere as far as awesomeness.
Yeah. And
then there's Chris Evans is pretty close second.
I'm noticing a theme here that you got Tim and then anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
And Tim's beard, the King's beard it's not going to make another appearance. Maybe.
Oh, maybe in the.
No, I think that King's beard is here to stay now in the Psych universe. So he's pretty handsome with it.
Yeah, well, that's actually one of the questions that's going to be in our interview. We'll get to the timid question, the timid goodness. Okay, so all right, so I guess let's just jump right into the interview. So we've got so the Psych gang is back together again in Psych the Movie 3. This is Gus, which will be available for streaming on Peacock starting November 18th. What can you tell us, psychos, about what to expect from this awesome sequel to the sequel?
I love that, the sequel to the sequel. I think it was at New York Comic Con that Corbin put it so succinctly and so brilliantly, is that this is Psych growing up. Mm-hmm. And I think what we expect is that we have all the lovable characters that are coming back in. Selene is definitely part of our world now, just as much as the other characters, because she completes Gus. I don't think Woody could ever do that. So we needed a gal to come in for our dear Gus. But we have everybody back, but everybody's in a new stage of their lives. We have life's moments, maybe beginning. We have life's moments ending. We have places in our lives that have been leading to something new and that we have to embrace. And I think that that's a really great way that Steve and James allowed us to grow up without forgetting what Psych is all about. And when we question, why are we doing this? Are we really good at anything else? And that our family is there to show us, oh yes, you are more full, you are more well-rounded when you explore truly the full person that you are. So Lassiter's at a jumping off point. Gus and Selene are at a new jumping off point. There's a baby coming.
Yeah.
Even Sean and Juliet are at a new point because Juliet has a best friend suddenly, and that she's so wonderfully been waiting for. And I found that a really great moment for Juliet. And the chief is at a new jumping off place as well. She is not, she didn't take the job in Psych 2. But she's still a chief of police in San Francisco, but there's new things that how we deal with our work and with our families. And I think that family is going to play a big part in Psych 3.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So the main story of Psych the Movie 3 obviously centers on Gus's impending wedding and the mystery of Selene's past. The B story focuses on Lassiter after his return from the recovery center. What can you tease us about Lassiter's role in the movie?
Oh, that's a hard one of what to tease because I don't want to give too much away. It's a beautiful story. But so when we first see Lassiter, and it's a gorgeous opening, all of the perp is getting taken out of the car, and all of a sudden the chief is there, and McNabb is like, "Whoa, chief, you're back." He's like, "That's right, drink it in." And Tim, on that day, it was just it was wonderful to see that, because I wasn't working that day, but I was on set. And to see him just standing in all of his Lassiter suit glory again, to say, you know, drink it in. And you're like, yes, please. But Lassiter has been relying on a lot of help from Sean and Gus. And I think the big tease of what we need to know about Lassiter during Psych 3 is how much can he do this on his own versus how much has he been relying on the guys to help him. His healing process is done. He's out of obviously rehab. He's back in the chief seat, but how comfortably is that chief seat fitting for him anymore? And it's questioning of, why do we do this? And can I still do this? And it's a beautiful journey for him to discover. So, and there's a wonderful, wonderful scene with Henry and Lassie. Yeah, because we don't get too many of those, you know, and that's actually how we wrapped. That was like the final scene of our entire shoot, was the two of them. These,
oh, really?
Yeah, men sitting on a porch talking.
Oh.
So very real moments. It's wonderful.
Okay. So, and I will say he looked great in suave and dapper in total GQ in that 3-piece suit. So what does it mean to you to get to work with Timothy in person again?
I think in person is the big key there. Knowing Timmy's journey of where we were 4 years ago in 2017, when our worlds turned upside down. Mine, you know, not nearly as much as Tim's, but his rehabilitation after the stroke, his conviction of wanting to get back to do what he is so good at and what he loves, has been a glue of why we wanted to keep coming back and do these Psych movies. The past in our history of doing Psych is just, that's solid. That's a given. When Tim's story in his real life became an even bigger story, we wanted to keep coming back to honor that and to help him on his journey, because he's helping us see the bigger picture of our full lives. And so his first day back on set, I'm not going to say it was a perfect day, because it wasn't a perfect day. There was pouring rain at times. We were in costumes that I can't tell you about yet until you see it. And there was a lot of waiting around. There was a lot of shuttling back and forth to our location, that we got there and no, we have to go back because they weren't ready. And it was a bumpy day. And we were all like, but this is Tim's first day. This is him here. We had been doing it for 2 weeks already. And we wanted it to be special. And it was such a shame that everything wasn't perfect, but I think that's Psych. Everything wasn't perfect at that moment, but on the location where we were setting it up, and we were all in our places, and we could hear on the walkies that, okay, Tim is coming in. Okay, yeah, we've got him in. He's coming in. And we all grabbed phones. And we just started recording. And it's a tradition that we sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I was gonna ask that.
You know. And he walked through these double doors, and the entire, you know, it's usually somebody in the camera crew or GusDulé that just starts going, ha. So everybody's got the same note. And we all sang happy birthday so loud and so full of life. And Tim is standing there in a ridiculous costume, as we were all in ridiculous costumes, and you'll see why. And you'll say, oh my gosh, this was the first, this was the first shot of him. We're going to go, yeah. And there, we were just all in tears again, because we were whole. And I didn't get a chance to share a scene with him in the second movie. Our paths didn't cross at all in the second movie. So to have everybody there again, and to be sitting around a table, and to be able to hold hands. And it I don't have the words of how
it explodes with goodness.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was perfect in our silly ways.
My heart's going pitter pat right now. Hey, Timmy.
Hey, Timmy.
Okay, so some eagle-eyed psychos, including myself, noticed the Luggard keg supply label on Sean's jacket in the promotional trailer for Psych Movie 3. Psychos love the fact that these fan-friendly Easter eggs are always included in Psych. What are some hints you may be able to offer about some other possible hidden references to watch for, in addition to our beloved pineapple?
So yes, the beloved pineapple will be, you have to keep I want to say you really need an eagle eye. So good luck. Because, early on we used to say, what's that, a pineapple milkshake? And it's like, okay, bingo. Now you have to kind of hunt and peck for them. The Lugard one was great. And did you see, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, it's on the side of their moving truck as well. Oh. And I don't know if that shot got in because I'm like, it's perfect. It's honoring Lugard. The names on the guys' jackets on their jackets, look closely at those. You've got Captain America behind you. That's all I'm saying is look closely at Sean and Gus's fake names on their jackets, because that's a wink. That's another wink to the MCU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So that one was fun. I'm trying to think what other. We do callbacks, but there's a lot of springboards into the future. But I'll leave those two for you right now, Lugard, and then keep an eye on their jacket patches.
Okay. So the chemistry between Chief Vic, Juliet, and Selene was adventurous and fun in the second Psych movie. But in Psych Movie 3, the plot involves her mysterious past. How does Selene's secret affect the friendship between her and her friends?
Trust. I think if we're going to talk about these women, they have to let down their guards. We all have jobs. Juliet has a job, the chief has a job, and in those jobs is a hierarchy. We can be friends, but at the end of the day, I'm still Juliet's boss. I'm still her supervisor. She's still my officer. Now, Selene coming in, not part of that work universe at all. But we have to drop our titles and become very Ephron-esque, if that is a new word, as in Nora Ephron, that we become Ephron-esque in our trusting of each other to share our stories to help her figure this out. And once she trusts us and once we trust her, and there's very little like once that happens. No, it's I trust you. As a woman, we will be here to help you. The guys are somewhere. The guys are running off trying to, do this, but let's get down to business, right? Mm-hmm. Like we're going to figure this out. And when she shares her story with us, that's it. It's all right, done. Our minds are made up. We are going to help you. So trust and Ephron-esque. I just made a new word. I made a new word. So the three of them together, once they're together, they will see it through to the end and protect her to the end.
That's awesome. All right. So the last movie focused on Lassiter. This one focuses mainly on Gus. Mm-hmm. In a future Psych movie, if a future Psych movie focuses mainly on Chief Vic, what do you hope the movie includes?
My husband. I would like to see my husband.
Yeah, we still haven't seen him.
He's my Maris. We know he's there. We know he influences her. I have another phone conversation with him in this movie. So we know that he's still there. And my daughter as well. What would I like to see? You have another side of the chief in this one about what she gets to do really passionately on her weekends. But if it is a Chief Vic, besides my husband, I think it's got to be, maybe a girls trip gone wild. and take it to that nth degree of, we've already done that in D's Nuts about like what happens when the women and the men are like getting blitzed. But an adventure outdoors, maybe an adventure in the woods, I think I'd like to meet my husband. I'd like to meet him.
He's kind of like your owl from Police Squad, the giant dude that you never see his face.
Maybe that's it. He's just so tall that then you see me and then he's just up here and there's no face. Hi, baby. Yeah.
Well, speaking of mixed family, will Iris return to play a role in the movie?
Not in this one. Oh. Not in this one. But when Psych 4 happens, because I think there's no more ifs. I think we have to keep saying when. Our universe, they keep expanding it only to benefit, those original 6 names in the title. The fact that we can keep expanding that, adding Buzz more, adding Woody more, adding Selene more. We have a universe that we keep having branches off of this beautiful, strong trunk. And the fact that we can explore those without losing Sean and Gus, without having to worry about losing that and not being a completely different show, only makes the show stronger. So I say bring in Iris, bring in my hubby. By the time bring in Woody's latest conquest.
Oh boy.
I mean, whatever that shape or form might be. But we're a very open group. Maybe Buzz gets married next time and we just have to kind of deal with that.
Well, he has Francine, remember? Because he's already married.
Oh my gosh. And their cat. We don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Francine could have said, Buzz, I'm done. And I'm walking away. I need to go do, I know, but she needed to do beauty school in Philadelphia, something. And Buzz said, I got to be here for the chief. I can't do it,
So I see that Maggie and Tim have started hosting a new podcast. The Psychologists are in a
Psychologist, yes.
Their promotional announcement said Psych cast members would be joining them, including yourself. What can you tell psychos to expect from your time on their Psychologist podcast?
So we've just kind of started recording their podcasts, which
debuts November 11th, by the way.
November 11th. Subscribe now on so many multiple platforms.
Oh, I am. As soon as I saw it, I signed up. I'd hit that subscribe.
Good. I mean, it's so easy these days. I mean, granted, there's a lot of podcasts, but when you find the ones that just, warm your heart and will make you laugh, do it. But once they decided to do that, I was like, what took us so long? And it seems so obvious to have done a Psych podcast. So it's every episode in order with special guests per episode. So it'll be behind the scenes stories of what might have been going on during the shooting of that episode. One of the ones that we did is, because it's now and it's fresh, there will be probably, I don't know when they're releasing it, but we did the Psych 3 movie podcast now, because that's already in the tank. But it'll be behind the scenes stories of maybe what we were thinking when we were doing these scenes, and kind of coming together that way. So it's definitely a trip down memory lane that Maggie and Tim are doing together. So, and it's great. It's great. They're so good. They're so good at just kind of leading conversations and yet letting it go in its own direction.
So in addition to this podcast, do you have any other live or interactive events for the Psych Movie 3 streaming premiere that you would like to promote?
Live events?
Yeah, or any live events or any upcoming promotional events or anything?
No, I mean, we've got a big old, I don't know when you're releasing this one, but we've got a big old press junket on Tuesday, which is pretty wild to do an entire press junket for 3-4 hours via Zoom. So there'll be a lot of outlets that way that we're going to be promoting. James and GusDulé are obviously doing the lion's share of getting the stuff out, getting the stories out. But that's kind of it for me, besides getting snuggly and ready to watch the premiere with friends. So I think your man, might be getting people together. We can go watch it.
So what would you like to say to psychos who continue to love and support this iconic beloved series?
I am so amazed, not with just the integrity of still being here, but with your stamina for sticking with us. A lot of people, if they've been following us for this long, they know that I was pregnant in the pilot. My daughter is 15. She'll be 16 years old now. And that's kind of ridiculous when I think of her, or when I look at her. She tracks time for us. And the fact that so many people have stuck with us since 2006, and that we keep adding more fans. We're incredibly grateful. When you find those shows that make you happy, that can be an escape. I'm thankful that I get to do that. And I'm thankful that I get to make you laugh. I mean, the Chief doesn't get to, but as much. We do. I do sometimes, but I'm so amazingly thankful and impressed by either people reaching out and saying, I discovered this show, or this is something that I used to watch with my mom, and my mom's no longer with me, so I watched this show to remember. Or a kid who is like, I used to watch that in middle school. Oh my gosh, I used to love that show in middle school. And they come back to it now because they're young adults going, oh, what do I do? And I love hearing those stories. So I love hearing psycho stories about how they found us, how they stay with us, and how they watch us grow. So,
well, this is probably, Psych is my all-time favorite show. I would say the only other ones that come close would be pretty close second would be Simon and Simon. Simon and Simon, Rick and AJ, and then Kolchak the Night Stalker. And
if you put Riptide in there with with Simon and Simon, like, and Riptide, I'm like, who are you?
Yes, but and I also remember the Magna Pi crossover with Simon and Simon. But yeah, so
gosh, the law enforcement was just already there.
Yeah,
from the beginning.
Well, they were the quintessential sleazy PIs. They're kind of a departure from the norm. But Psych is also kind of such a wonderful breath of fresh air and a departure for what was normal on TV at the time that it debuted. You had all these crime procedurals, but it was a fun crime procedural. Even though people were getting murdered every week, it was still a hilarious show. And it's just such a wonderful, beautiful show that is so necessary even now to just bring light and goodness and fun to the world. And we love you. And that's why it has so much staying power, I think, because you guys are it's just not only a great show, but everyone involved is just great human beings, and we all love you.
Well, thank you. And I'm humbled because the great human beings, I don't know, I'll let you say that.
You are.
But awesome. We enjoy each other's company and off screen. And I think that is there's so many, I've been on sets where that has not been the case. Work colleagues are work colleagues, but when you find work colleagues that can mesh into something more and can have a more tender meaning to each other and really have each other's backs, I'm very thankful that does come across on the screen, because this one too, for me, for the Chief, had some very unchief moments. There was a vulnerability there that I had to act out. And with Maggie and Jasmine as my scene partners, having them and that love come back to me and what I could give to them just made it more real. And it's a great family. It's a great, great family.
Well, we did see in the previews that Chief has a puffy vest now.
I do. And it's fuzzy. And I was like, oh, hey, can I bring that home with me? And they're like, no, we've already hung it up.
Oh, that brings up another good question. Did you still have time? Because I know we were supposed to have 20 minutes, but if you still have another time.
I still have time.
So is there something that you took home from the sets that you're allowed to talk about, like a souvenir?
That I'm not going to get called back to Vancouver to return.
Correct. Plausible deniability. It may or may not be there.
It may, if we get Psych 4, I'm going to have to, carry another piece of luggage. Besides a pair of boots that I loved wearing, once you see the film of like where we are on ladies' night, because I know that we've all been talking about when ladies' night happened. If I took anything from ladies' night, that would be weird. But you'll see when you see it, like, wow, she took all of that home. That's like a shelter home with her. And that would be odd. So I took a pair of boots because they were so comfortable, and they're not like, oh, high heel boots, or they were not snow boots. They're like, oh, I can go stomping around and go get some serious woodwork done. And they'll still look fabulous the next day. So that's what I took home. And a jacket. Oh, and a jacket. I did take a jacket. I took a suit jacket home because I think I have to take a suit jacket home every time we do a psych thing of like, yeah, you got to bring a suit jacket home.
Yeah.
But that last day that we were working, our wrap day on set was the hottest day ever recorded in Vancouver. And
really?
Our air conditioners kept going out. We blew them. None of the trailers were working. We had so many people, hanging out outside, and it was literally like 105 degrees. And they're like, oh, right, this is supposed to take place in fall. So we're in like, James looked adorable in like a button-down shirt with a sweater and a jacket over it. And we're like, we're dying. So I think I took the jacket home because it smelled so bad that nobody needed to wash that. And I'm like, I got it.
Please tell me that you dry clean. Please tell me you clean.
That's my funk. I'll own that. So,
thank you so much for talking with us. I know that Starry Mag really appreciates it, and we will be watching November 18th for Psych Movie 3, the sequel to the sequel. Thank you so much.
Sequel to the sequel. This is Gus. Tune in. I hope you like it. Thank you for your time.
I know I'm gonna love it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.